Good morning, Ma'am Quiroga. So we will be presenting to you our term paper entitled The Causes of Multilingualism. So we choose this topic because we thought that this is very interesting topic to do a research on. So this paper will discuss the causes of multilingualism. It will focus on how language spread through time and how the Philippines have been a part of a growing multilingualism and multiculturalism. So this paper will look into the main reason why multilingualism has been spread, particularly in our country, and well-known agents of a spread are war and colonization. I know we had this topic before, so that's why we decided to do this, because we want to expound our knowledge about this topic. And also migration and settlement, religion and media, and the needs of trade and businesses.
Introduction. A multilingualism is the ability to speak more than two different languages fluently. There are several different definitions of multilingualism. It can be challenging to develop specific advantage and disadvantage to the practice, because some people are born into situations where they must learn multiple languages in their youth because that is the only way to function in society successfully. Another one is that multilingual speakers have acquired and maintained at least one language during childhood, the so-called first language. So it means that the first language is also referred to as the mother tongue. It usually acquired without formal education by mechanisms about which scholars disagree. Children acquiring two languages natively from these early years are called simultaneous bilinguals. It is common for young simultaneous bilinguals to be more proficient in one language than the other. In line with this, when a person is multilingual, it is always an advantage in many aspects, such as finding a job. It because if a person is a multilingual, it is easy for him to find a job and to be hired at the same time, since there are some companies who prioritize a person who is flexible in languages. And also a multilingual is an advantage in a way to have confidence in terms of socializing with other speakers, and also to not be ignorant when that multilingual person decided to migrate to another country. And lastly is that a multilingual leads to have the courage to use the languages that a multilingual wants to convey.
So, the overview of multilingualism. So, linguistic is a branch of anthropology that deals with the study of different languages and how they are structured to bring out meaning. In the past, linguists is used to travel long distance so that they could interact with different ethnic groups and study their languages. So since people really understood the languages of other ethnic groups, anthropologists use the differences in language to classifying ethnic groups. However, the case has changed today, whereby coming from different ethnic and language groups can easily communicate. So the reason for the free and open communications across ethnic group is the spread of multilingualism, which is the use of more than one language by an individual or a community.
So in this next video, we would know the causes of multilingualism. So the causes of multilingualism in the current world include the effect of colonialism, the migration of people from one place to another, and the intermarriage among people from different language groups, and lastly, the introduction of multilingual learning system in school. First of all, the first causes of multilingualism is what we call the colonialism. Colonialism has greatly contributed to the multilingualism being witnessed in the current world. During the colonial period, powerful countries were struggling with partitioning the world into smaller countries so that they could rule over them and exploit their resources, that is according to Arunin. So, as a result, the native people ended up learning the new languages and applying it in their daily lives. In this regard, many native people struggle to understand foreign language. Due to the continuous use of foreign languages, people ended up incorporating them into their culture. Like, for example, most African countries use foreign language such as English, Spanish, and French as their national languages. So, the second causes of multilingualism is what we call the migration of people from one place to another that has resulted in multilingualism. So, when a person moves to a new place, they tend to learn the new culture so that they can be taken as the resident of that place. So, in the process, they learn the language spoken by people of that place. They may also teach the natives their language, and this leads to an exchange of languages, such as people of that place or those who have migrated to the place will have to learn the new language and culture, and this leads to multilingualism. So, the other causes of multilingualism is what we call the intermarriage. So, intermarriages between people from different languages group have contributed to the use of more than one languages in the world, that is according to Bamboos. So, when a couple speaking a different language moves together, they end up teaching each other their languages. So, in the current world, intermarriages between people from different language groups have become normal, unlike in the past, where marriages was restricted to one's ethnic group. Thus, interracial and tribal marriages have resulted in the spread of multilingualism in the current world.
So in this section, we will look at some advantages and disadvantages of multilingualism. It can be challenging to develop specific advantages and disadvantages because some people are born into a situation where they must learn multiple languages in their youth because that is the only way to function in society successfully. In our case here in the Philippines, we have varieties of languages that we use. So we are very also exposed to an English language because this is our official language. So mostly of us, if not, are multilingual person. But I know for sure that some people are also monolingual. This is because others are born into monolingualism and must begin the process of learning at a later age. Some people can read in another language but then struggles to speak in it. So here are some advantages of multilingualism. I'm sorry about the spelling. Anyway, moving on. So, multilingualism improves a person's working memory. Well, a multilingual education works to improve the working memory of the individual learning multiple secondary languages. This improvement provides for better information processing capabilities when there is exposure to new audio stimuli, ideas, concepts, and real-life experiences. At the same time, individuals who pursue a multilingual educational opportunity experience lower levels of fear and fear and anxiety while being less likely to experience a mental health disorder. So, based on our research, multilingualism helps a person's working memory, and it's also help with the mental health disorder. I hope it's really true. And aside from that, it lowers our level of fear and anxiety. So another advantages of multilingualism is you have more career prospects available to you because of multilingualism. This is a very true because in the Philippines, being fluent in English is a must. When you can speak multiple languages, then your value as an employee increases exponentially with each new language that you learn. So here in the Philippines, over 50% of the families who are looking for a nanny want to hire someone who is fluent in language other than their own. And that doesn't always mean it is a Filipino. The idea is that when children are exposed to multiple languages from birth, then they are simply learning two first languages instead of a primary and secondary option. So another thing of advantages of multilingualism is you can travel with more convenience because you understand what others are saying, which is very advantage to us when we travel. Although one of the disadvantage of speaking multilingual is very advantage to us translate. So of course, this is the disadvantages of multilingualism. If there is advantages, there is a disadvantages, but I know this can be outweigh the positive side of multilingualism anyway. The first is you might struggle to get along in monolingual societies. When you can speak multiple languages fluently, then monolingual society will often group your ability into our overall conversation of immigration. Some people see the effort to speak multiple languages as the desire to create open borders in their country, so they oppose any effort to speak anything under that first languages, because there are some group that is monolingual and they choose to not speak another language. So these are some disadvantages of this. Okay, some studies also said that studying new languages can shift the focus of a student, because when multilingual schools use different languages for instruction throughout the day, then the priority becomes how fluent students are in each one instead of focusing on their core subject matter. Even when schools create these learning programs for after-school activities, you will find some people ignore the other parts of the curriculum to ensure that they are getting the new language down to the best of their ability. Another is you can start to mix the different languages together as you speak. When you can speak multiple languages fluently, then it is not unusual to mix the different languages together when having a conversation. So this is very timely. This can happen when you choose to live in some other places, or you started to go to other schools. Then you may experience these disadvantages more often. You might also find yourself throwing out different terms as things happen to you throughout the day. So as we conclude, the causes of multilingualism has given us the opportunity to not just learn new languages. Causes of multilingualism has given us the opportunity to not just learn new languages, but also to appreciate different cultures. We are now a growing country and advancing in the future because of our ability to interact in different languages. Multilingualism seems to be viewed much more positively today as compared to the past. Many researchers today are in favor of the effects of the multilingualism. Indeed, this is supported by the wide range of substantial benefits found through academic research that has been selected and included above, varying from individual cognitive to workplace and societal advantages. And that is all. Thank you for listening. Bye.